Let's face it, you can feel uneasy about your bathroom.
It should be a pretty good haul.
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity.
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
All right, here's a shop that I go to frequently, but I've actually never brought you along with me, and we're going to head on in. But can you see it's called the Thrifty Irishman Thrift Shop? Now, I would kind of think that that might be a pejorative term, but I'm not Irish, so if that's offensive to any of the Irish, I didn't name it. You'll have to let me know. And anyway, I don't know if you can see, but right out here outside of my car is a baby grand piano, or what's left of it. What a shame! All right, let's go check out the Thrifty Irishman. A big place. This is the kind of stuff you can't give away. Wow, these are nice. It's called a Hitchcock chair with this plank seat. They're almost always painted. Really nice old surface. It's this original surface on here that makes them so desirable. Pretty. A lot of old chairs. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. How am I gonna get back here? Okay, all you mid-century people. You see what I'm trying to get to? Let's see. You see what I'm trying to get to? Check that out. That is nifty. Sweet, now we need a set of 4 of them. Oh, I love it. Look at the legs in the back. Sorry, I'm not. That is sweet. Oh well, there's only one. Too bad. Ah. Somebody had to go and put a coat of varnish on that. It's called a pineapple bed. These are popular for a very long time. This one probably is 1940s. You can tell by the finish on it. But they made these around the turn of the century. They were popular in the 1920s, into the 40s really. Pineapple bed because of this stylized carved pineapple. Okay, I'm stuck. If you don't hear from me in 15 minutes, call the hospitals. Mold. Oh, that's sad. That is a 1920s desk that has seen better days. $40 isn't bad, and that could, this little bit of fret, my dad could have fixed that. Yeah, this is definitely 1920s, and I know it's dark, you can't really see. It's a 1920s take on the Secretary bookcase. Governor Winthrop is what they called it. I don't know if Governor Winthrop ever actually had one or not. Some old records. I'll spare you that. A lot of books. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through these records. But don't worry, I will stop filming. There's some blonde furniture. It's a big joint. I actually haven't been here in a couple weeks. It's just an old factory building up here in the Kensington section of the city. Who knows what was manufactured here 80 years ago. All right, let's find some old Christmas. Old Christmas. Excuse me. What is this? I don't know what that is. What do you see, folks? What do you see? You know what that is? Yep. Pyrex. Not buying it. There's some anchor hocking copper tone. It's copper tone when it's in cookware. It's peach luster when it's in dinnerware. There's that weeping gold stuff or weeping silver. Can't get into that. Some souvenir plates. Wildwood, New Jersey. That's one of the beach towns in Jersey. What would you put that into, the 1950s or 60s? Probably in those bathing suits. Yep, that's the famous boardwalk. One of the famous boardwalks. Look at all of this piddly stuff. Piddly piddlies. It's cute. It's got a chip on it. That's unique. I've not seen a picture in cream and green enamel. $3. I've never seen a picture quite like that. I'm not happy that it's got the damage. This stuff always does have damage on it, almost always. I have to think about that. I mean, even with the damage, I think the cream and green people would still buy that. This looks like, is that Federal? Is that a Thistle? Yeah, glass bake. All right. Some kind of depression. Wow. Look at these tables. Probably from some cafeteria somewhere. There's a whole bunch of them. Really cool. Mid-century tables, or 1960s. There's a 1940s coffee table with a removable cocktail tray. Those were big in the 40s. Oh, I was just talking to, this is L.E. Smith. I wasn't just talking to L.E. Smith. I was talking to another thrifter last night through Instagram. We were talking about L.E. Smith and their glass. They made this black glass, which is also referred to as amethyst. Imperial made a lot of amethyst glass. Fenton did. A lot of companies did, but L.E. Smith made a ton of it. And if you put it up to the light, it will appear purple. Although the light's not, you gotta really be in bright light. But that's from the 1930s, 40s. Sure is. What are these? Ouch. Those are unusual for like sherbet cups. I wonder if they got it for their wedding. Looks about right. I don't know. Okay. Am I in the lingerie section here? Let's get out of this section. Remember in the 1940s and 50s? Well, some of you remember in the 1940s and 50s, these telephone tables. Huh. Now that's the 1950s. That's cool. Poor brown furniture, poor brown furniture. Nobody loves you anymore. That is sweet, and I could redo it, actually. See, this is easy because you don't have to weave this yourself. It's placed in there with a spline. Spline? Spleen? No, not spleen. Spline, I think is what you call it. I forget. Anyway, you buy this in sheets and you put it on there, you wet it, you put it on there, and you hammer this reed or bamboo piece in here. I think you call it a spline. So this is easily replaceable. And of course it needs to be reupholstered in something appropriate. That's not the original upholstery. That chair dates to the mid-1920s, so it's just shy of 100 years old. Check out this. This is probably a sewing machine cabinet from the 30s. Yeah, it is. That's really neat. Very deco. It's called the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. I think I lost my focus. Here we go. 1930s cabinet sewing machine. That's something else. It's a hard sell. All right, get me out of here. So I made a purchase. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you when I get inside. Not a big deal. And then I bought a couple of old 78s, and I'm going to show you the process, probably not in this video. Well, the tune is called My Blue Heaven, which was a big hit for Gene Austin, a million seller in the late 20s, 1927, 1928. And this is not by Gene Austin, who had the million seller, but it's by someone else. But anyway, this is an actual late 1920s recording of My Blue Heaven. So I'm going to show you the process that I go through on how I clean up my 78s, play them, and then turn them into a digital file, and then I clean them up, and then I'm able to actually burn them onto CDs or use them as the background music in my show, in my videos. So I'll show you that when I get home. All right, that was a Thrifty Irishman. We're off to see the wizard. All right, I spent $9.97, and it was 75% off Halloween. Now, there wasn't really anything good left. It's actually, what's today? Is today the day before Halloween? I think so. So, I did pick up 2 more plastic pumpkin pails. And the reason I bought these is because it's 2 that I don't already have. And I'm kind of just sort of collecting these with different faces. So that's one that I think, this is one I think I don't have, at least in that small size. So I picked him up. This is one I know I don't have, because I know that I don't have that shape of the eyes. And so I don't really know what that hole is for right there, but it doesn't matter to me. And then I also picked up the lady was just putting these out. This is 1940s, 50s hit parade. It's a it's a, how many CDs are in there? 4. Yeah, it's a big 4 CD set with hits, as you can see, from the 40s and 50s. Now, I need this, like, I need a hole in the head. I think I already said that today, but I couldn't pass it up because it was so cheap. The CDs in this particular store are so cheap. And it really pays when you get like a big 4-disc set with 20 tunes on each disc. So, you know, there's like 100 songs on this compilation. And it's the original. You want to make sure, see it as the original singers and not fake people. So that's going to be cool. This one, the big bands live. These are live, recorded off of the radio air check shows. And again, it's a big compilation. I have an idea what I'm going to do with that. And then this one I don't need either, the 1940s Christmas, because I've been collecting music since I was a teenager, and I have all of this. But what I think, because these were so cheap, I think I might save the 1940s Christmas and maybe do like a contest for my subscribers and give this away as a Christmas gift. So I think, okay? So you're gonna have to stay tuned. And I might do that with these as well, because I really don't need any of this music. But these are Reader's Digest put together really nice collections. It's well mastered, it's the original hits, and it was really cheap. So, as I said, I just had to get them. And then the most expensive thing I got, which I won't pull out, is a set of computer speakers. You can bring things back here if they don't work. These look pretty good. They're clean. They're not that old. It's got the power cord and everything. So they should be okay, because I've actually moved, now that it's gotten colder, I've moved upstairs. Well, I haven't moved upstairs, but I'm using a computer in my upstairs because it's warmer up there, and I don't have audio up there. Hi everybody, it's Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Well, the music is a little scary sounding and it doesn't really fit the Christmas stuff you see, but it's the night before Halloween. Now, tomorrow I'm going to show you my Halloween stuff, but right now, the night before Halloween, which we used to call Mischief Night a long time ago, we're just going to focus on some of the things that I picked up this week. The music that I started out with is called Swamp Fire, and it's by Shep Fields and his orchestra, recorded in 1936. Let's start with these big Santa Claus... No, let's start with this thing. Now, I wish I hadn't bought it. All right, what is it? Now, I know you're all saying, oh, it's a napkin holder. Okay, let's turn it around. Here are my Christmas napkins. That's a big napkin holder. Now, these aren't very big, so let's try these. This is kind of the classy size. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to buy that it's a napkin holder, but this thing doesn't sell. You know, it's Holland Mold, and that's one of the big makers of all these homemade ceramic things, and it's marked under there, Holland Mold, and the person who made it. I paid $2 for it. I haven't seen any sell, but there are 3 or 4 of them currently online, and it doesn't look like anybody wants it. I think just because it's so big. I mean, yeah, the napkins fit in there, but it's just big. So, I don't know. Anybody want it? Let me know. How about these guys? I need to back up and show you just how tall these are. Now, I don't have my... These are at least 24 inches in height. Let me turn this swamp fire down. That might be just a little bit too loud still. So hold on, folks. Okay. Really cool. Let's start with this one. He's unmarked. Got a little bit of a missing boot there, but everything else on him looks really good. And I'm going to date him probably to the late 50s, early 60s. As I said, he is completely unmarked, and he's about 24 inches tall. If we turn him around and I back up, you can see that the original stand is included. And it has almost no damage at all. No damage to the front. That's probably the one that's in the best condition. A little crease right there. And some missing boot. But not bad at all. I know I have to keep backing up so you can see the whole thing. Let's move him for a minute. And hold on. And let's look at this one. Turn this guy around. He's just as tall. I also date him probably to the 1960s. He does have damage there on the front. That's the only spot right there. Nothing on him is missing, which is super, because as you can imagine, these things don't hold up. This one is marked Dedison, and we can see it right there. And if I turn this guy around, he's also about 24 inches tall, and he has his original stand. Now you can see there is a lot of tape repair on the back. Some of that was already done. I did the rest of the tape repair myself. Now I know some of you are going, I know that tape yellows things over the years. Doesn't bother me. It's not going to yellow through this cardboard, and even if it does, it's going to take it 20 years to do that. So it's more important to me that it's stable and not falling apart. And I'm not selling these. So putting tape on the back, yeah, there's probably other ways to restore something like this, but we're not talking about the Declaration of Independence here, all right? So relax. Yep, I did some tape repair on the back. I want them to be able to stand up and, be seen. I don't know what these were used for. They're so big, they wouldn't really fit on a person's mantle. I can't imagine somebody decorating in their home with these. You wouldn't put them in a window, they'd fade. They're just huge. So maybe they were really meant for schools or as a display in a store. I don't know, but these two Santas, again, I'm thinking are 1960s. And my absolute favorite one right here has a lot of old tape repair on the back, as you can see, which I didn't do. That tape all fell off. But, as you turn it over, you can see none of that tape bled through this heavy cardboard. Now, I like this one because it's flocked. A lot of the flocking has come off of it, but let me get it up into the light. There's glitter, which it was manufactured with, and can you see the flocking on Santa's outfit? I think you probably can see that it is. And this one, now he's missing the top of his hat, and he's a little rough around the edges, but this one is looking more like the 50s to me, and it is not marked at all. I see nothing on it to tell me who made it. It's a little bit smaller than the other ones. It stood up as well, and its back is gone, but really like that. So this is I'm definitely going to decorate with this. The other two stand-up guys, they're just so big, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Now, I will sell these because I'm not really over the top about them. I'm not really into the 60s stuff. These two look just really 60s to me. And they're both marked Denison. They've got some Scotch tape on them. You can see all the old tape repairs that were done on the back. And these are about 14 inches tall, I would say. And they're looking very 1960s to me. I found all of this paper stuff extremely inexpensively. I also, for 75 cents, picked up something that's difficult to find. You'll recognize the Philby pattern in this sapphire blue glass. It was made by Anchor Hocking, late 40s into the 50s. You don't often find mugs. It's the only mug I've ever been able to purchase in Philby. Philby isn't what Anchor Hocking called it. That's a pattern that collectors gave to it many years later. I don't know how well it shows up in the light, but this actually has a sapphire blue tint. And what you'll most likely find are pie plates, casseroles, and some other sort of cooking utensil type things. But mugs are hard to find. You'll recognize that's the classic Fire King mug. That's the blank mug there, the D-handled mug. These mugs came in jadeite, not azurite. What did they call their blue? Delphite, and they also came in an ivory color. And this one is in really nice condition. These little guys sell for 15 to 20 bucks. This I didn't buy. The reason why this is here, you actually have seen this before. This is one of the houses that go with my father's Lionel train set, which I'm going to be setting up at Christmas time. But the reason why I have this out is because in one of my previous thrift hauls, I bought some of this fake grass from Whacker's Trading Post when I was out thrifting. And it was in a 1950s bag. I replaced it and put it in these sandwich bags. But, and so what I'd like to show you is these houses date to about 1930. And this is one of the platforms. Now I have 6 of these houses, but I want to show you what the platforms looked like before I did the restoration work. Here's a platform without the house. This original composite type material, something synthetic, almost rubbery type of material was used as bushes. And from these being stacked on top of each other for 80 years in the attic, it's totally over here. It's totally smushed, it like baked in the attic and totally flattened out. And in many places it's chipped. I mean, it looks horrible. It's chipped off. You can see there. And so it really looks nasty. So I'm sure it doesn't hurt the value at all. I'm not selling these. I'd never sell them. So what I did on this one, it's the first one I restored. I painstakingly chipped off all of this old, gloopy, glucky stuff and put some glue down and just sprinkled that grass on there. So this is connected. It's a little brighter, I think, than I would like it to be, but I think it still looks acceptable. I know you can go out and buy new synthetic type bush material, but they didn't have that in 1930. I'm familiar with the stuff on the little putz houses from the 50s, but this is just what I wanted to do, so that's how I decided to restore it. The houses just sit on top of the base, and they have the different colors inside the windows, like the putz houses do. And so, anyway, I'm going to put that back on there like that. These look fantastic all around the train set, and with all the lights and everything. So I'm going to continue to restore these old bases. Nothing else has been done. This is the original paint, the original finish to these houses that all date to about 1930. This is the CD that I bought today. I'm going to be giving that away to a subscriber around Christmas time. There's a lot of music in there. 1940s Christmas. You see, I think about you guys when I'm out shopping. So we'll do something with that. I'm going to show you in another video what I do with these old 78s. These are the 2 that I picked up at the Thrifty Irishman. Not going to talk about those now because that's going to be in another video. This box right here contains... what? A sausage? No. A player piano roll. Not going to talk much about this either. It's a QRS roll called Santa Claus Time, and this dates to the early 1920s, probably 1921, 22, something like that. It's an oversized roll, and I just love the old Christmas wrapping. Now this is the way the box was manufactured. It's pretty rough back here, and of course it's missing a lot, but that old wrapper is just sweet. I don't currently own a player piano. I used to. I've restored some in the past, but I'm not going to sell this, and there is a reason why. I'm not going to tell you that now either. A lot of surprise. I'm keeping a lot of secrets. I'll tell you about that later. Here are two mangers or creches, manger scenes. One I just picked up, one I have had. I'll talk about this one first. Zoom in on it. Really let you see it. The detail on this one is really exceptional. The actual creche itself is marked Western Germany, so we know that puts it sometime after 47, 48, and I think it dates to the 1950s. The actual pieces on the inside are Italian, and they also date to the 1950s. They're all hand painted, cold painted. The detail on these is really exceptional. You just don't, I mean, the Italians really knew what they were doing with these manger scenes. They mass produced them for many years, and I think, well, that one's not marked, but most of them say underneath Italy. We can see there, can you see that? It's not focusing. It's marked twice, Italy, Italy. This is not plastic. It's a composite material, some type of a composite, or I wouldn't really call it resin. And they did refer to these as composite. Yeah. So anyway, and then as you get into the 60s, they become plastic. So this, I believe, is a 1950s set. This one over here, I believe, is 1960s. And these guys are, I think, plastic. Now, these are glued on, so when I thump them, they kind of have a plasticky feel to it, where those don't. And kind of, you know, if you zoom in, you'll notice that the detail is still good. I think these are also probably Italian, but notice how, let's zoom in on him. The detail is just, let's compare them. One that I think is from the 60s. Oops, hello, I'm a wise man. It doesn't really want to focus. Come on. Okay, detail is still good. But better on this one. You can tell there's more handiwork done in the gold on his robe. The paint work is better than on the set that I think is from the 1960s. So we'll put him back in. Okay, so they are both going to be for sale.
How much do they cost?
The Italian one in the German manger, and this set over here, which I think that one is marked Italy on the back as well. I like them both. They're probably going to be for sale on my eBay shop for around 30 or 35 bucks each. I have to check some comps and see what they're selling for, but there's no damage on either one, and they're nice examples of really nice manger. Oh, by the way, the other thing that makes me think that this is a 1950s set is when I got it, all of the people, all of the figures here were resting in this. You know what this is? This is wood. This is dyed chips of wood that they would stuff cushions with stuffed animals would be stuffed with this. They called it Excelsior. I think that's Excelsior. And it's shaved wood. You know, people used to pack their dishes in this kind of... This was before bubble wrap. This won't take up a landfill the way packing peanuts will. And so everybody was packed in this. A very 1950s way of packing something. You can also kind of tell by the cardboard box. And it does say made in just, you can only see part of Italy. So I was excited that everyone was packed down inside of this, which is definitely older than if it were made in the 1960s. All right, there's everything. What am I forgetting? I don't know. So I am going to see you tomorrow with some Halloween decorations. But that's it for now. Welcome all of my new subscribers. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. Also hit the bell so you'll know when I produce a new video. And leave me a comment. I'll be happy to write back. You see anything you like, anything you don't like, any suggestions, comments, prayer requests? I'd be glad to hear from you. It's Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching and so long for now.
Elmira Gulch. Just because you own half the county doesn't mean you have the power to run the rest of us. For 23 years I've been dying to tell you what I thought of you. And now, well, being a Christian woman, I can't say it.